Hi, I'm Terry from Mr. Locksmith, and this is
Michael from Mr. Locksmith.
And today we're going to discuss the Schlage, maybe just call it a Legion, easy to pronounce, the NDE series. It's a fantastic lock. I think this is going to be absolutely a great product. I really like it. And Mike has been playing with it, I've been playing with it. So here is one in the box we got from the supplier. We get instructions. Actually, one of the first instructions I found on another one is they lost all the programming information, so I had to set it back to factory reset.
Okay.
So that's an important thing to know. They give this is a demo unit box, so we have the wristband with the procs, we have some procs cards. The most important card is actually this one.
That is a procs card, yeah.
Yeah, this is the programming card. This is the lever lock with a latch, so we've got, what do we got here? Lots of toys.
The inside plate, the outside plate.
And you know, the interesting thing is there's not as many toys, I should say toys, as bolts and screws as the CO 100/200 series. This is very simple. If you can install a normal lever lock ND series, this is simple to install. And let's just go right to our display. Mike will show us everything from there.
What I have here is a NDE unit that's mounted on a wood stand like Terry has over there. But this is fully functional, as in it has the latch on this side here.
Notice the handle. This is not part of the lock.
Yeah, that's just,
this is a great handle. What is that? What is
handle.
that?
It's actually just a gate hinge at the hardware store, and I figure it's kind of cool.
They have really good ones with a grip set. We don't have them yet, but they say they're coming.
This is mounted properly, as in it's very low amount of prep work, only because it's a standard cylindrical hole that it fits into. All it needs is 2 more holes above and below, which is, like I say, the
typical install for the ND.
Yeah, ND.
Just a typical install.
So on the inside, of course, when you pull the handle, it's always egress only.
So it's a storeroom function.
Yeah, storeroom function coming out, so you'll never get locked in case of a fire or anything like that. And on the outside, it's always locked. So as you, right now it's on the toggle mode. So I'm going to untoggle it first.
Oh, you got to set up for. Now, will this do?
So
can they time it for between opening hours? It's open.
Yeah, you can set up schedules for these. Yeah.
So it's a total access control. So you could have a holiday. I think I got to go into the subject. So there's a holiday scheduling. There's we want it locked until 8 a.m. and it locks again at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. So it's totally an access control. Again, it's so compact and so smart. We'll go from there. Let Mike go some more.
Okay, so starting with this, of course, you don't have a pin pad on this kind of lock. So
not yet. It would be a good option. We've been talking about that. All it really needs to be 101% is a pin pad. But procs, this will read all the various procs cards and a few other doohickeys and the little band. You can go into the specs, and it's got, for some of your contracts, it's got military spec proxes. Some proxes can be read and duplicated. So if you get the military procs, military grade procs, it cannot be copied. And so it's a really, for high-end customers or for any customers, I think we're selling just mil spec anyways. It's only a few extra bucks per card. And I just feel better having a card that I know can't be copied.
Okay, so anyways, right now it's fully functional, as in you can't get in without showing any credential. So the basic credential would be like what they call a normal function. So all these instructions are in the software and all the programming options. So a normal function allows you to just present your credential and just allows you to go in. So it's got to wake up. Here we go. There you go. And it pulls the latch back, allows you in. And at a certain time frame, you can set that too, like anywhere from 3 to whatever, how many seconds you need for it to go into lock mode again. So nobody walks in behind you and opens the door behind you without showing a credential. So that's a basic normal credential lock. Now, if it's for a business door that needs to stay open from, say, 8 to 5 p.m. or whatever, what they call a toggle option allows you to present it and then now changes it to a passage function. All right?
Or a classroom function if it's in a school. Same idea. Turn it into a classroom function.
Well, right, yeah, okay, yeah.
It's a passage set or
right.
Classroom.
So it's passage right now, and then at the end of the day, toggle back on again to put it back to a normal lock position, so it doesn't pull back the latch now. Besides the normal and the toggle function, there's also a lockdown mode. That's this card here. Now the thing is, when Terry opened that other box, it comes with a card. So that card, when you present it to the lock when it's brand new, okay, it picks up the signal off this card and it becomes a master programming card. So if you have like 100 doors to do for a job site location, you program it all to this card first. And this allows additional cards to be programmed into the lock, say for like the plumber and the heating guy and whatever to get into that room from here on in, okay? But once you program a lock with a card like this one that came out of the box, you have to open up the compartment and then reset the, what'd you do there?
The resets, yeah, I got to reset. And,
Okay.
and the instructions are fantastic, easy to follow.
Very easy, yeah.
So you can reset.
Okay.
If you've got acquire a new system or you have another unknown lock and you want to get it in, just reset it right to the factory. And the way you do that is everything starts where you got to sort of, if you're coming into a brand new lock or one you've reset, you just turn the handle on the inside, then you present the card, accepts the card, then you can present your fobs from there. So that's
Okay.
just the reset or the brand new.
If you don't use the card, okay, for like a master programming card, it can become an access card, which is what I did here, okay? So it's just like any of these fobs or access cards, or even a garage. If your garage remote control also lets you into a building now, and anytime you want to present it to the lock itself, it gives you a red signal. That means it picks up a signal. You can always program that into this lock. Not like you have to carry extra fobs, access cards, or anything else, because if you have one for work and you want to use the same card for home, we can make that happen with this system, as long as it picks up the signal.
And it's great if you're adding a new system, one of the NDEs to a new system. You can check it to see if the customer can take their existing cards, and if it reads it as red, you know you can program it. If it doesn't read it, so whatever you got, just present it. Let's see if it can read it, you know. So I haven't found one yet. It didn't really read. Or if you have a remote or something interesting, you just put it, see if it reads it, and go from there. If it flashes red, you can add it. You can, I'd say 99.9% of the time, it will go into the system.
Okay, now the other option, again, for like the different credentials that you can have a lockdown mode. That means if there's an emergency in a building, you can just walk down the hallway and present this one card to all the doors all the way down the hallway. So what it does, it locks everybody down, even like here's a normal fob that's supposed to let me in. It just won't let me in and pick up that signal. It won't pick up this one, okay? But although it picked up a signal, it won't let you in. But there's another option that you can select for a credential, and it's called pass-through mode. So that will be for, like, say, the principal, the police now, when they're coming down a hallway checking on the classrooms. A pass-through credential, like which I programmed into this wristband.
One of the disadvantages I didn't like, it's a minor one, but sometimes if the lock has been sitting for a week, it's in sleep mode. So sometimes it takes a little bit before it acknowledges that you're there.
Or pump the handle to
yeah, we can just turn the handle and it kind of wakes it up.
Yeah.
So if I find it's been sitting like for a couple days or something, that little sleep mode, so that's probably something that goes on there. Again, for emergency lockdown procedures, you saw in the earlier videos, we had the ND institutional or the emergency classroom. This takes it to another whole new level now. So the teachers can have, two cards. One could be red. If you have a lockdown procedure, they hit it, it's in the lockdown procedure. The principal would have, or whoever would have, another card that would override the whole system on a wristband or on especially a green card. So it's limited by your imagination how you can program these things. And if you have one door or 40 doors, I think there's no maximum.
There's no limit.
There's no limit. There's got to be a limit somewhere.
It's a cloud-based software. So on the Engage software, it's an app that's going to go on your Android or iPhone, and you download that. So you
and
enroll.
It's free.
Yeah, and it's free. Yes.
That's the interesting thing. You don't have a monthly fee on this system. And that's some of the problems I had with some of the other access control systems out there, and even some earlier versions of this. The software was thousands of dollars, or you had to pay a monthly fee, a yearly maintenance fee. I hated that. and it wasn't controlled by you or us, it was controlled by the cloud. The interesting thing is this is controlled by Allegiant, the options you have to program in.
Yeah. So in the software itself, you can add as many locks as you want and as many users as you want, and then in that software you allow which lock is going to allow access to which user. And if it's a common area, so you just mark that lock as a lock where everybody can access it, and then you can have different individual apartment units for only that individual credential to allow that person to get inside. And you can also do audit trails. That means you go up to the lock and it'll download all the access, all the people that have gone into that room with their card or credential will show up.
And that's a great thing for follow-up investigations or to see what's going on, is that audit trail could really help the investigative aides later. You know the card went in, you don't know the person went in. So something to look at, you know the card went in there. The other thing is you can delete cards instantly into the system once you get into the handheld, or how is it go computers are strictly off your is it off
it's
computer
all
as well?
iCloud based. It's on your phone. It'll be a software on there. So it works off Bluetooth. So you don't have to have Wi-Fi throughout the building to connect with all these, although you have that option too. So what happens is you need to delete that user, update the lock by going up to the lock within like the 30 or 50 feet your Bluetooth will handle. Select the lock and just update the firmware, I guess, or the software that's inside to tell it that this credential will not work anymore with Terry, for example. And so next time he presents it, it won't allow him in. But you can also put an option of block. He can present it, it'll pick up the signal and then still not let him in, but it will be flagged on the
Actually, sometimes the interesting thing is the audit trails. How many people have tried to get into a door and not allowed? That's one of the, especially, I find that always interesting when I'm looking at the log. How many times somebody's been trying to get in? Some people like to use this as a payroll function.
Right.
You know who comes in, what time they come, what time they leave. I stay out of that, and I recommend my customers stay out of it. It's just a little pet peeve. Some people think everybody has to present it. That becomes the time they came in and left. You don't. Yeah, the big brother. I say stay out of that if you can. Have nothing to do with it. But we'll talk about.
You can do it.
You can do it. The advantages. This thing retrofits easy into an existing system. There's not a lot of holes to drill. Just you can go into. Usually, it's already prepped for this lock or 2 small additional holes. It's very, very easy install. And one of the most important things is get that magnet installed on the strike. There's a little tiny sensor in there. When you hear about problems on batteries, it's usually because they haven't installed the sensor properly in the frame. So it's right integrated into the strike. Install that. Make sure whether you're using it or not, get it installed. It's a fantastic system. What's the only disadvantage right now?
No pin pad.
No pin pad.
So it does not allow you access. Say, for example, you left your credential in your room, shut the door, now you're stuck outside. But of course, in that situation, you'll have a key override, which allows you to, hopefully you have the key, or at least the building manager has the key for it. So there's always key override to pull the latch back to let you in and grab your credential.
Yeah. So it doesn't have an external, if the battery goes dead, there's no external battery to pump it, to pop. Some of them have external batteries to help you, but this does have the key override. And you can put anything in this. I don't think there's any, you can put in the Schlage, the Primus, Weiser, Quickset. You could put in Abloy, which is one of our favorites, as well as Medico. So the override can be anything going, will go into this. Multi-lock if you're into that.
Yeah.
So
it can be master keyed also. So this option could be master keyed so that the building manager will have a master key to open, say, all the units within the building, and also individual units can have their own key only to activate their own door.
So very little disadvantages. What I'm really waiting for, it's going to be released soon, is this version in a deadbolt. I'm going to really recommend that to a lot of our residential clients as well as our commercial. But the power of this with a deadbolt, I think that's going to be one of the best locks that I have a hard time recommending a lot of electronic locks for residential, but one of these would do it. No qualms at all recommending this for anybody. I like this so much, I'm installing it on my house. I have an abloy deadbolt, everybody knows is my favorite. I'm going to put this on my house and with an abloy key override, and I'm just adding this because sometimes I forget to lock the door. I never forget, but sometimes somebody forgets to lock the deadbolt. So I'm going to leave this in storeroom function forever and put it on my door. I like it.
Well, as long as you walk out with the keys, you should be okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, I'm
All right.
Terry from Mr. Locksmith, and this is
Michael from Mr. Locksmith.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Subscribe to my channel. Also, visit my website and you can see what online locksmith training I have for beginners, intermediate, and advanced, as well as my covert methods of entry and my non-destructive methods of entry.